Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think you'll have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so bright, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this?
I
How you cannot go
Baby,
here?
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, come on in, you guys. Come on in, come on in. Yeah, I don't know why we say that. Come on in, because the ones that's in is in, and the people that's not in, they're not in, but they need to come on in. Hit that like button as you come in the building, you guys. If you didn't, go back out. Hit the thumbs up. That's the like button. Hit the thumbs up and share the live, share the live. We're going to talk about, I told you guys, when I have time, and something has been on my mind for a while, I need to always share with you. We're talking about the Naziah Harris case. People's like, yeah, when we get on these cases, we stay on the cases for a while, and we get tired of it. But and it's a long time before they go to trial. I'm just going to tell you guys that we are going to get on another case, but this case right here is getting all of our attention for right now. Thank you, Moz, for showing up. We got Sanja in the building as a mod. She was first one in the building. And we got Tina Powers in the building as a mod. Let me see who's all in here. Because we're just now starting. We're starting a little early. Zena's in the building. Leisure's in the building. Danielle's in the building. Karen's in the building. All right. Nancy LaRose is in the building. Miss King is in the building. How you guys doing? I am so glad you guys are here. Sometimes I love to come in because I'll sit down at this desk, and normally I won't. I'll be in the bed, and I'll be Googling stuff, and I'll be looking on the news and trying to see what's going on. I could not get no rest. I wanted to share this with you guys maybe 2 or 3 times. And I did not. And there was a reason why I didn't. It's because I hate to see the things that just it just is horrible. Woke to God is in the building. How you guys doing? And I talked to you guys about this. What was it, Monday? So today is Wednesday, and I need a new calendar because I still got November calendar up from last year. But anyway, you guys, the evidence. Let's talk about this evidence a little bit. Let me come in the room so I can see what you guys are saying because I can't. And anytime when I want to really share something with you guys, what normally happens? You guys know what normally happens. I don't have no room to share it. So, you guys know what normally happens. Anytime you hear the echo, that means I am now in the room. Evangelist, how you guys doing? So, I wanted to talk about this because I tried to go find some of this stuff, but I don't have a lot of time. I want to share with you. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm not going to come on today because I can't find what I'm looking for. I know I seen it somewhere, but you guys will know what I'm talking about. So, you guys know, and here's something else. If you guys, want to put a 1 in the chat, if you're in agreement, especially the mods, I need to see that. And then you guys that are family, you guys count too, because that tells me, not the mods, but we got to all be in agreement that, so we're going to do another intro. I want to make another intro. And I know right in the middle of a case, I want to make another intro, and I want to keep a little bit of the Cody intro, but I want to add, for some reason, I want to add some pictures and some searches of Naziah and things of that nature. So if anybody has, I know they had a search and it was on Facebook, and I don't know if you guys are going to have to text it to me, and then I'm going to have to send it to my other phone where, because they did some searches for Naziah. They really did. That community, and I'm not going to bash the community, you guys, but I got to tell you the truth. Sanja said, yeah, she says, make a new intro. And I mean, not we're going to keep the format, of the rules and the regulations and all of that. But she said, I'm in an agreement. She said she's in an agreement. But, for some reason, we're feeling this feeling for Naziah, even though she's not a baby, 4 or 5, under 5 years old. I mean, I love seeing, because I'm going to tell you something. While I'm looking at the Tyre Nichols case, there's not a lot of people covering it. There's not a lot of people watching it. There's not a lot of people even have pictures of him anymore. They don't even know what happened. They know they just know the clip notes now. You know what I'm saying? You haven't, she said, if I miss you, I wasn't trying to discuss you. So welcome. Oh. So thank you, Maz, for helping out. So you guys, let's get off into, we got 1 more minute. And so I want to get off into something that was disturbing to me. I do have 2 videos, and I like that now we can share these videos, and I know how to share these videos, and I'm getting used to it. And so, and I want to learn more new stuff too. All right, let's give a super chat shout out before we get started. We're finna get started on this, but let's give this shout out. was for Eno and Bella's mom. Thank you for the super chat, you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We definitely appreciate it, and we always, anything can help. People thinking, oh, nah, $2 can't. Yeah, $2 can help. It does make a difference, you guys. Especially when things, you be like, oh, man, that cable bill, because, the cable is like, ugh, this is crazy. I don't even watch TV. But we got to have that high-speed internet over here. We got to have it. We got to have it. And and I tell you guys, I'll pay, I'll pay, but you guys sometimes, it just helps when you guys help out. So I appreciate it. I really do. I just can't explain to you how much it just helps this channel. Anyway, you guys, let's talk about this evidence. So I want to share with you guys, and like I said, I never have a script. When we first started doing YouTube, I thought I needed a script to, hit points, know where I'm going, know what I'm going to say. Every time when we come on here, we freelance everything. So what we're saying is really what's on our mind. People in the chat, they may call in, and I need to cut my phone on. And I was charging it up because it's been off for a while, couple of days. And not only that, you guys, like people can come on the platform if they want to. If they say, hey, I got something to say, or, they ain't never got to show the face or whatever. If you want to show your face, show your face. I used to show my face every day for years and years and years and years. And now, that I'm upstairs, I'm like, it's not that I don't show my face, you guys. If you want to know, it's just I'm upstairs. And then my husband be coming in and my kids be coming in and all this stuff be going on. And I'll be walking around or whatever. So sometimes, and my husband does this almost every time when we go live. I think he knows. I think he likes it or something. Hold on. I'm not even gonna, oh my God. Yeah. I'm not worried about it. Just call me for some bad news. Anyway. Anywho. Wow, that was horrible. Anyway, yeah, I don't care what time I come on. I could come on at 3:00. He'll call like 2 minutes later or whatever, Anyway, it's like, anywho, you guys, I want to talk to you guys about today is the evidence. Now, are you guys ready? Yeah, I'm getting all kind of text messages too. Hey Nancy, how you doing? Hey Evangelist, how you doing? Virtuous, how you doing? Monique Hall, how you doing? Okay, so Naziah Harris came up missing January the 9th. They searched and searched and searched for this young lady. They couldn't find her. I don't think they did a really good job as far as searching because, first of all, it was never, I wouldn't call it a hot topic, but it was never placed as a priority to search for her or to find her. But you guys, what actually happened was they searched and they couldn't find anything. They searched all the places that they thought of and all this other stuff. And I go over this so much that if, and I try to, sometimes people be like, okay, you already said that. We already know that, and things of that nature. When I go to a new job, you guys, I always have to have me a way to look at things in a simple way. I'm at this new job right now, and it's huge. The facility is so huge. And on the very first day, they take me here, they take me there, they take me there, they take me there. And that's all they do. And then, they give you a badge, and then they give you your credentials, and then they give you where to clock in at. And then nothing never works. You can't get in the door and all this other stuff. So you got to walk around the whole building for maybe 2 weeks. And then they're like, well, email somebody. And you're like, email who? I don't even have an email. Who do I email? And then when you finally get that after 2 weeks, they'll be like, well, this is your pin to get in. And so now you're getting in. And so you ain't got to walk around the building. But it takes a while. But some people come in here and be like, oh, well, we know all of this. Some people don't know. So we have to sometimes back it up a little bit and explain what's going on. If we want them to engage in the conversation and know what we're talking about and go do a little bit of research, we sometimes got to share what's going on, especially, you never know. You never know who's in the building. It could be somebody brand new. So some people be like, well, we know that. Okay, well, you sit down and let them catch up to speed. This when you share, you care. Okay? It's all about acknowledging, it's all about sharing, it's about keeping her face out there, letting people know that these things are happening to our children, and it is not getting any better. So first of all, you guys, I want to share with you about this shoe. You guys heard about it. So let me break this down. The police did search 7 Mile and Bird before. They searched the river before. They were looking for Neziah because Jarvis's phone pinged there on the 10th, the day after Neziah came up missing. His phone pinged there. Okay. Sometimes, you guys, you know why I love coming on here? Because I can speak clearly. I don't care if I mispronounce something or put Berg on the word is supposed to be in, burger or whatever. I'll go back and listen and go, oh, I messed up. I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have said that. And I know people do mess up when they say things or they say things wrong. You know what I'm saying? And you can do this for years and years and years and years and years, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So let me tell you guys something. So this 7 Mile and Bird is where they found this evidence. Now, you guys know they found this evidence. If you know they found this evidence at that location, just put in what they found at that location. Some of you guys only say, oh, they found a hoodie, because we know that. They found a shoe, we know that. And they found a onesie. They also found some earbuds. They also found some gloves. All right. So, and you say, okay, what's the significance? Well, the earbuds was apparently in the pocket of the hoodie. Okay. Here's the problem. How many people came out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, super whatever, YouTube, and said that they found these shoes. If anybody, and I don't have no water, but if anybody in the chat, heard somebody found these shoes, a civilian, put the name in the chat. Who all found, or even if you don't know their name, you can say, I looked at a video, it was live. This person found them shoes. I seen on a video, Roxy found the shoes, or Mark found the shoes, or a young black man found the shoes, or the detective found the shoes, or who found the shoes. Anybody in the chat. Because when we were talking about this case, people were all in the chat saying, SP, somebody else found them shoes. I was in the live when it happened. And I was like, okay. Is that so? So, I went to go look to see, was that true? I did. I went and looked. Karen says, this young black man and a white man and Roxy, they all found the shoe. They found the shoe. See, I can't even make this up. And Karen just showed you right there. This young black man and a white man and Roxy found this shoe. Okay? Found the shoe. Woke the guy says, I heard a black guy found the shoe, and then I heard Roxy found them, and then the detective said he found them. And Virtue said, ditto. Hey, JT, how you doing? Yeah. Everybody found the shoe. Now, let's go into some of the information that you guys because you can't see. I believe that we hear information and we don't do anything with it. We don't analyze it. We don't look at it. We just okay, we have cake. We eat cake. We in the mouth cake gone. Sometimes you gotta say, well, what's all in that cake? How did they find this? Did they find this shoe? I believe them. I do believe them. Because I'm going to tell you why I believe them. Because Shannon Jones got on the stand. That is the detective over this case. And she said, hey, we wasn't even looking for that type of shoe. So there's all kind of debris that comes up because of the embankment and because of the beaver dams and things like that clogs up. So it was cold, it was rainy, it was a little snowy. So they had already been out there, but they was going back because they had to go back because of the weather. And they know that it was a very rainy weather up in January. So it could brush some things up on the bank, or it could, but people said that they found the shoe in the tree, in the bush, and all this other stuff. But I'm going to share with you. Hey, Phyllis, how you doing? I'm going to share with you what she said on the stage. Well, not on the stage. I keep saying stage. On the stand, you guys, and take it into consideration. I am going somewhere with this. I want you guys to think about it.
Like land searches?
All kinds.
Well, we searched Ypsilanti as we did our workup, and we're looking at different locations that Mr. Butts had been to. We identified an area out in Clinton Township that he had gone out to back and forth before, and that was an area that Shannon Harris, his child's mother, had lived at. So this was kind of like a route out there, and there was like a big retention pond out there. So that was another place that we had dive teams come out. We had the helicopter, the cadaver dogs, and we searched out in Clinton Township. As we start breaking down the phone mapping a little bit more on Mr. Butt's phone, it kind of led us to 7 Mile and Berg.
And what's out in 7 Mile and Berg?
So 7 Mile and Berg, there is a vacant parking lot on the southwest corner. It used to be a golf course. So the entire south side of 7 Mile, from Berg, and then heading back east, used to be a golf course, which is now shut down. And then on the other side of Berg, there's a parking lot where it has like a vacant building, which used to be the clubhouse or the golf club. And then right behind that parking lot is the Rouge River.
And when's the first time that you get out to 7 Mile and Berg?
We went out once. It was probably maybe a couple weeks later that we went out there. We went out there once, and I remember it had snowed. So when we went out there, it wasn't as easy to search. We're kind of looking if somebody was just placed out there or if something was easily identifiable, but because of the snow, we knew that we were going to have to come back again once that melted because it'd be easier to see underneath.
Okay. And so you go out there again?
Yeah, we've been out there multiple times. I've probably been out there 7, 8 times, all with various dive teams. We searched the complete river from 8 Mile all the way down past 96 on foot with cadaver dogs in boats in the water. There's several log jams. We had state police actually had their helicopter fly the entire route so we could GPS all the log jams. We had to coordinate with specialized teams to come in to help cut these log jams apart, which go throughout the river. And then throughout the season, obviously we had some rain, so the water goes up and down, which now brings the debris onto the land, so you have to actually search the land a couple hundred feet. And some places that the water has pulled debris. We searched the homes, as I said, searched the vehicles.
All right. So when you're out there at 7 Mile and Berg, do you have an idea of what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the idea of what you're looking for?
So initially when we were out there, again, we had the clothing description. We had the picture of her that she had sent that night or that day that she was missing on the 9th. So we were looking for the black hoodie. We were looking for, again, initially we were told blue and white gym shoes.
Now, is there a time where that changes?
Yes.
Okay, and what is it that makes that change?
So as we go out to areas.
Okay, I want you guys to really pay attention to this part right here because this is really, 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 really important.
The search, when we leave, a lot of times large community groups may go out there, right? And they saw that we were at 7 and Berg, and then people come out there to help. There was a group that had been out there, and they were recording, and they saw a pair of Nike shoes, which were the red and black. We were alerted of those on our initial search. It's documented in our river search report. But because we weren't focused on the red and black, and we were looking for blue and white Nike shoes, we left them there, but we did GPS the coordinates.
Stop you there. That would have been Border Patrol Agent Wyatt Barnes.
Yes.
Okay, you heard.
So she said they had initially already seen these red and black and white shoes, but they wasn't looking for these red and black and white shoes. So it was already initially in the report that they seen them, but they didn't get them because, you know, she's not picking up everything. that's out there.
His testimony.
Yes.
All right. So continue.
Yeah. So on our initial search, we knew they were out there. The pink hoodie was identified, but we didn't collect them because, again, we didn't have anything about a pink hoodie or a pink onesie. And the shoes weren't matching. And there's a lot of clothing out there. There's a lot of shoes out there. There's people's clothes. There's all type of debris. So I can't collect every single piece of clothing and article that we find. Later, I get the information that as the search team is out there, they had called 911 because they saw these shoes. And they posted a picture of these shoes somewhere or sent it to Naziah's brother. Naziah's brother then reached out to me and he sent me a picture of Naziah wearing the black and white Nike shoes.
So somebody reached out to the brother. Now, here's the thing. Somebody reached out to the brother and he called Shannon Jones and said, hey, here's a picture of my sister wearing them shoes. Here's a picture of my sister wearing them shoes. Okay. So those are my sister's shoes.
Okay.
Once I saw she had the exact same shoes on that are depicted, that were described out there, I knew immediately where to go. I gathered a couple members of my team and we immediately went back out to where the shoes were GPS located and recovered the shoes. As we were there, that's when we found the black hoodie and then the pink jumpsuit that had been laid out by Agent Wyatt.
Okay. Now, as it relates to those red and black Nike shoes, you had a photo that they were associated with Naziah in some way. Did you ever end up asking Annette to see if those shoes were still in Naziah's possessions?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ever end up recovering those pairs from Annette?
No.
So, after you recover the pink jumpsuit, the black hoodie, the shoes, what do you do with them?
Those are all, well, the evidence techs collect them. They're placed on evidence. Those items were wet, so I had to wait, obviously, for them to dry. Once they're ready to be processed and they're finished drying, then I create a lab report. And items are selected and turned over to the state police lab for processing to look for any type of DNA evidence.
Okay, so once those are placed on evidence by the lab tech, you're the one who then submits them to Michigan State Police?
Yes.
Okay.
There may be some of the lab reports where I had gathered the evidence and one of my partners had gone down and physically took the items to the lab, which is all in the same building.
Okay.
I'm going to end that right there because what you guys heard was part of her testimony. The part that I could not for the life of me find today, but I had it. But like I said, I was working on a movie, so I deleted a lot of files. And one of the files that I had deleted was when they cross-examined her, the defense attorney asked Shannon Jones, was there any Jarvis DNA or Naziah's DNA on those shoes? Shannon Jones said, you guys are not going to believe this. They did not do a DNA analysis on those shoes. They did not do a DNA analysis on those shoes. Okay. You guys going, why in the heck did they not do a DNA analysis on those shoes? Shannon says, Shannon Jones, not Shannon Harris. Shannon Jones says because they look like the shoes Nasiah had wore on the picture. Okay, that's a problem. You guys, I'm telling you guys, I tried to tell you guys about the case with O.J. Simpson. I'm just saying. That's a problem. That's a problem in itself. And I'm going to tell you why it's a problem. You guys, you can get mad at me, but it is a problem. Because the detective that said he found the shoes, let's hear what he say.
Okay, and how did you report them? Do you go on? What is it that you found in this case?
I found I don't know if this is the right term for it, but like a onesie. It was mostly balled up in the brush with the shoe inside of it. And
let's just stop right there. So this search guy, okay, hold on. You guys heard what I said. I'm gonna back it up. This is only but a minute clip. You're gonna hear what I heard. He said, and I always like to stop things and say, did I just hear him say he found a onesie? They wasn't looking for a onesie, but he found a onesie, and he said that there was a shoe that was balled up inside of the onesie. Now, y'all, I mean, you don't not have to be smart. How in the world did everybody find this shoe? And when the search guy find the shoe is not out in an open area. The shoe is literally located inside of the onesie. You take a shirt, a onesie, a pair of pants or whatever, you put the shoe inside the onesie and ball it up. How in the world did this shoe get balled up inside of the onesie? How? I'm gonna tell you how. I don't know. There can only be 3 different reasons how this shoe is balled up inside this onesie. Let's hear the whole thing. Let me start it over.
yes,
Okay, and how did you report that? Do you go on? What is it that you found in this case?
I found I don't know if this is the right term for it, but like a onesie. It was mostly balled up in the brush with the shoe inside of it. And so I pulled I didn't know it was clothing at the time, but I pulled it out of the brush just to kind of open it up and see what it was. And then once I saw that it was clothing with the shoe inside, I just reported it to the incident command.
Okay, and when you're touching these items, are you wearing gloves?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall, describe the onesie, color, size, anything like that?
Pink.
Okay.
Honestly, the size, I don't... Small.
And what about the shoes?
Shoe. It was a small Nike shoe.
Okay.
And it was inside the onesie, which was inside out.
And were you instructed to recover those at the time?
I'm shaking my head.
Like bag them and bring them somewhere? No.
Okay.
No, that wasn't.
Were you
I'm literally shaking my head. I just can't understand that. Yeah, the onesie was inside out and the shoe was inside of the onesie. You guys, that's going to be a problem. That is going to be a problem. That tells me somebody tampered with the investigation. She says those shoes was too clean to be sitting in the rain for over a month. Yeah, I'm just not understanding why, you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing, you guys. It give doubt. That's what I'm talking to you guys about. It's going to give doubt because somebody touched the shoes and removed the shoes and put the shoes inside the one. Because if you found the shoes before, and we get really, when there's somebody missing and the police is not doing a really good job, they could have planted the shoe. Exactly, Teresa. They could have planted the shoe. That wasn't the shoe she was wearing. And it could have been out there. It could have. But it gives doubt to the jurors. Okay? That's why when Shannon Jones got on the stage when she was being doing the interview in the preliminary, she didn't just come out and say, "Hey, we found the shoe." Da 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 da. She went to explain why the shoe was still out there, and the people, when they had a search party, they found this shoe and they knew the shoe was out there, but they didn't think it was her shoe, because they really wasn't looking for red, black, and white shoe. They was looking for a blue and white shoe. That's what they seen her walking in. Like I said, everything that they found, it was nothing that she was walking in. And I mean, you guys go, SP, yeah, we know that. Okay, so the things that they found was nothing that they was walking in. Now, here's the thing. Nobody said anything about these gloves. Now, I know some people say, SP, you reaching too far, or whatever. I have gloves. I always have gloves because, I put gloves in my pocket, and then when I get home, I got a pocket full of gloves. I never have to really ever buy gloves because I have gloves. I'm not trying to bring gloves home, but in a normal just family, we just don't buy gloves, like, and they didn't speak on these gloves. Was they gloves that you wear at the mechanics wear gloves because they're dealing with oil and stuff all the time? Is these the same gloves that you guys found that is in his shop? Or because when I started dating my husband, he would always have these big gloves that you wear in the wintertime, and if I wanted to do yard work or whatever, I would take a pair of his gloves out of his truck or car or something, because I wanted them. I didn't want to go buy them and whatever. And I would use his gloves, and then I got his gloves, you know. I mean, it happens all the time. I'm telling you guys that. But I'm just saying that this can really mess up the case. And I hate to tell you guys that. I really hate to tell you that. Well, the guy says, let me see, can you screw up a case more than these people have? How do you not pick up all the evidence that is in the area? How do you not test for DNA? They did not test DNA on those shoes. And I was like, okay. And they could be her shoes. I'm not saying they're not her shoes. But it was, I mean, they said that they were there before, but they didn't pick them up. I mean, you can say what you say. You can go and add to the report later on, you know? But, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of clothes that are down there in that area of 7 Mile and Berg. But I'm telling you guys, that's really messed up. And I wanted you guys to hear them say, the people, because I had ran up on them. I had went on this Facebook thing, which I don't even know how I got to it. But I heard Roxy say, hey, I found these shoes. And I heard Mark D say that they found them shoes. They found the red and white and black shoes. And it's on the live somewhere that they found these shoes. Now, how in the world is these shoes in the middle inside? The shoe is stuffed inside the onesie. Man, I'm telling you guys, if that is not the best way to tear up a case, I'm just telling you. People want to get a pat on the back because they found a shoe, and you probably messed up big time because you want, and they probably just did find the shoe, you guys. You can't really get mad at people because they don't know what they're doing. They didn't know. They looking. And they found these red and white and black shoes. Now, the funny thing about the whole situation is when they found these shoes and then they told them that they found these shoes or whatever, they were like, oh no, we're not looking for the red and black and white shoe. We're looking for a blue and white shoe, or we look for a black and white shoe, but we're not looking for a red and black and white shoe. Everybody's like, Now, because I'm going to tell you something. You want to be good and you want to be right. It was just one shoe, Jay. It was just one shoe. Exactly. Someone said that shoe was hanging on a tree. See, you guys, I can't make this up. Y'all had heard all this stuff. I'm telling you, we was live one day and people was in the chat and they was like, SP, somebody else found the shoe. Tell us about that. And I was like, I can't tell you about it because I heard about it. I didn't really want to say too much about it, but I'm like, well, let me hear what they gonna say about this shoe. Please, somebody did want this case to be messed up. One shoe, 30 days later, suspect. Yeah, it is very suspicious that this shoe. And I'm going to tell you something. That's why you don't want a lay person to find the evidence and the police don't. Because, especially if it's a family member, you don't know if the family member wants that person that they got in custody to go to jail. But if you did a DNA analysis on the hoodie, why would you not do a DNA analysis on the shoe? Okay. somebody wanted this case messed up. I don't know, Tina. I don't know. Where's the police got the shoe? Then DPD said they eventually found both. I don't know what's going on. The DPA are corrupt. Well, they said that they found a whole bunch of stuff. They said that's the Detroit Police Department. They said that they found the shoe, the onesie, some earbuds, with the little strings on them that attaches to your phone, and some gloves. I didn't get to see what the gloves look like. No, Robert, they never took the DNA from the shoe. It's not a second shoe. It's only but one shoe that I know of. It's only but one shoe. I didn't see two shoes. Who is they? Who is they? Who is you? Who is they that you're speaking of? And I'm just telling you guys, unless there's two shoes, Robert Leo, yeah, I've only seen one shoe. Unless there's two shoes and one was found, in an open area. And but I mean, the thing about it is, so here's the thing, you guys. So the searchers was out there searching, and they was like, hey, we believe this is her shoe. Why would they think that's her shoe? Why would they think that's her shoe? It's a shoe. If there's all kind of clothing out there, why did they think that this shoe was her shoe? What, because it looked new? Or was it because it was a kid's shoe? What made them think it was her shoe? And was like this, let me take a picture of this shoe, because you had to take a picture of the shoe. That's another thing. Let me take a picture of this shoe and send it to her brother and ask him, is this your sister's shoe? And did he get a lot more pictures of other stuff that was out there? Because she said there was a lot of clothing out there, but this shoe was important to the searchers. What searchers? They took a picture of the shoe and sent it to the brother. And the brother, good afternoon, Mocha. How you doing? Christina, what's going on? I see you in the building. How in the world, and I just don't understand, you guys, how in the world they took a picture of the shoe, sent it to the brother, and the brother say, hey, let me call Shannon Jones and tell her that's my sister's shoe. Christine says, I was saying the same thing about that darn shoe. It don't make sense, do it? See, people want the big things. They want the interviews and all this other stuff. But let me tell you something. It's the Bible even tell you, it's just the smallest things that it's just so, it just don't make sense. SP, what about the blood that was on the hoodie? Here's the thing, Robert. I'm not investigating this case. I'm not saying that it's not her shoe. I'm saying, what the odds are for the police to not have found this shoe. And now they're saying that they found the shoe. But not only that, somebody to take a picture of the shoe, but the shoe is wrapped inside the onesie. And not only that, to send the picture to the brother, and the brother say, "That's my sister's shoe." You know what I'm saying? And then Sharon Jones say, "Oh, he sent me a picture of her wearing this shoe. So let's go back and gather that shoe." And then for them not to do a DNA analysis on the shoe, it's just beyond my understanding. I just don't get it. You guys, you know what? I told you guys this the other day. Exactly, Catherine. See, Catherine, see, y'all smarter than I thought. Y'all smarter than a fifth grader. I know you guys are smart. He wasn't in the house for a whole year. And she probably had the shoes before then. I mean, there's always going to be a good reason, excuse, or whatever. Mocha says there's too many unanswered questions and holes in that baby's disappearance. And it starts with that family. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It does. But, you know, and you know what? That's why the police don't never want, you know, family out there searching. You guys know what happens. They place things. You guys seen it in the Cody Bixby case. The girl came out and said, I hate to let you guys hear me raff and rave about how you can catch a liar. Sometimes you can catch them and sometimes you can't. But that girl came and said she found this jacket. And it was a kid's jacket. And everybody was patting her on the back and everything. They did a DNA analysis on the jacket. The jacket had been out there for I don't know how long. It done snowed. Basically, it was almost the same thing. It was like deja vu. But there was no DNA on that jacket. Now, and then come to find out, then the girl said that she went down to another little town because they found the baby in a suitcase. I don't know if you guys know about that or not, but I know the family that's in here knows about that. And then guess what? We did catch her in a lie. She was doing too much. She had to go sit down somewhere. Because I got a hold of the people at the mortuary that did that baby's funeral and everything. And I asked, I didn't know. I just asked a question. I was like, because somebody said, I will fly you out there, SP. Why you didn't go? And I said, I didn't go because they had already said that wasn't baby Cody. That's why I didn't go. And I felt bad because the family said, look, we fly you out there and get you rental car. Why you didn't go check and see if that was Cody? I said, because the police said it wasn't. They said that child wasn't Cody. That's a whole different baby in the suitcase. But this girl got on YouTube and said that she went down there and seen this baby's eyes. And I said, they let you see the baby? And she said, I said, what did the baby look like? And she said, all she can remember, the baby had eyes like those boys in the California City Boys disappearance. And I said, you got to be lying. Girl, get out of here. You guys remember that? And it just so happened I just called down there and I asked them, I said, y'all letting people see dead people? This baby been in this suitcase for a whole month and you guys letting people that's not part of the family see this baby? The woman said, ain't nobody seen that baby, girl. I said, you mistaken. 2 women went down there and seen that baby. She said, girl, that baby been buried a whole month ago. She said, the baby been buried a whole month ago. Because I asked her, I said, maybe one of your workers allowed them to come in. She said, no, it couldn't happen. I said, yeah, it happened. The girl told me she seen the baby. She said she ain't seen no baby. She said, because there was no baby. I said, what do you mean? She said, there was no baby. There was just bones. There was no body to see. There was bones. So I'm wondering what else on this case is they missing. They must be missing a lot. Mocha says that one shoe and that onesie, she says, just in my opinion, was planted by the family 1 year later. Exactly. I believe that. I believe like something's going on. Now, it could have her DNA on it. It could. But who knows? You know what I'm saying? Woke to God. Lisa Calhoun says one and teeth. Yeah. Woke to God says, I feel like everyone in the family knows that the evidence is all questionable. I feel like the family is more concerned with getting Jarvis off than finding Neziah. You think they're trying to get Jarvis off? Because Shannon is still sending him money and all of that? Spicy says that this case is going to be very interesting. She says she have jury duty at the end of May. Wish I was selected for this case, huh? Not going to be this case. Escalade would have hurt their pockets 8 miles to a gallon. Escalade, you know, if I didn't own one before, and trust me, when I owned mine when they first came out, they were really bad on gas. But, I mean, they're a little bit better. But, I mean, a person can handle it. I mean, they really can handle it. I mean, every time when I went out of town, I went in my Escalade. That's the only car I drive out of town. Huh? You know, and you know, hey, go to Texas, yeah, go to Denver. Yeah, you're going to spend some big money, but shoot, you know, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. Those are some very good cars. 8 miles to the gallon. I think it's more like 19 miles now. 19 to 21. Mocha says, woke to God. I stand with you on that. Christina says, people need to be careful with what they say. Family out here still looking for the missing. Have a heart. Have some sympathy. Yes, I get that. I understand, Christine. I understand. But sometimes when the family needs, we don't know. And I'm not bashing the people out there searching, you guys. Trust and believe. They are doing way more than I can do. I would be out there. I'm not telling them not to be out there. I'm just telling y'all that this is crazy. She said they don't want Jarvis to tell their part. See, I was thinking too, and you guys, I was thinking too, you know, like 2 vehicles were supposed to be involved in the trip to Ypsilanti, Jaguar, and I don't believe ever existed, and the 300. Well, Mocha, you know, the girl that got on the stand, when they asked her when they left, Talasha Moore, you got to go back and look, but Talasha Moore, they said, when they leave, what did they leave in? Talasha Moore said, King's truck. Now, I don't know how you get mixed up a truck and a car, but she said King's truck. That's what she said. And so one thing you got to look at, and that is the cadaver dogs didn't hit on none of the vehicles. Shannon is sending him money because she was the mastermind. That's what Robert says. Phyllis says missing and what they are not sharing at this time. They're not sharing a lot of stuff, but I'm trust and believe That right there, I'm telling you, the defense is going to eat that up, and the jurors is going to look at that. That's going to give them some doubt. You know what I'm saying? If he comes out, the defense comes out and say anything like, Shannon, and they start attacking Shannon, which they are. They're going to attack Shannon. They're going to attack that family. They are. It's going to put some doubt in the juror's mind, because how is it that you didn't pick up the shoe before? You said it was out there. Why you didn't pick it up? Oh, you say you pick it up because you're not going to pick up everything. Okay, well then now you picked it up and somebody tagged you or somebody called you and they called the brother. They took a picture of the shoe and say, hey, look at this shoe. But then your own detective gets on the stand and say the shoe was wrapped inside the onesie. Oh my God. I literally get a headache when he said that. You guys don't understand how that messes up a lot. She wasn't unalive in a vehicle. No, I don't think she was. I don't think she was. And I don't think that they're done with all of Jarvis's girlfriends and all of Jarvis's baby mamas and all that. You guys, there's others out there. And they asked Shannon Jones, do you think you've talked to all of his girlfriends? And Shannon made it seem like she does. And I'm not saying she's doing a bad job, Shannon Jones. I'm not saying she's doing a bad job. I'm just not saying nothing bad about Shannon Jones. I'm just saying, why did you not do analysis of a DNA on these shoes? Whether it came back, it was not her DNA. You could have said, we couldn't get a DNA analysis on them, but just to not do it, that just doesn't make sense. But Shannon Jones wants this to happen. I mean, I do too. I want Jarvis to go to jail. But you guys, I'm gonna share some with you that I think when we're gonna come on Friday or something, and it just dawned on me. I don't know if I should talk about it or not, but it just dawned on me like I'm putting stuff together in my head. And especially when there's other kids involved. She wasn't alive in the vehicle. Okay. Well, the guy says, with all due respect, I have no respect for Shannon and Annette. I didn't say I didn't say it. I didn't say, when I said family, I'm talking about I think there's people out there that's trying. But, I don't know their intentions. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, let me tell you something. I seen Roxy out there looking. I seen her out there looking, and some people may like her or not like her. I haven't seen her that much, but I did see her out there looking, and they had this tribute for Neziah. They had a balloon release and anything to get this baby's face out there, picture out there. Talasha Lott, they all were lying in that preliminary. We have to carefully listen and connect the dots. Exactly, Mocha. Exactly. Yeah. I'm 100 with you. You stern on them. And trust me, I be over there, and I done listen to you. So, if anybody tell you, that we are on opposite teams, we are not. I listen to you. You just a little bit stern, you know. You be like, you gonna tell him like a T.I. is. I'm like, I know Talisha was lying, you know, Talisha. And I had a problem because, and people was thinking I was saying one thing, but what I was saying about Talisha was, you know, she went to school, she got these degrees, and she's a counselor, therapist for people that's rehab. And I just didn't I didn't understand why she was lying. I still don't. And I guess some things you ain't gotta understand. Jay says Shannon's kids are probably talking, some especially Janiyah. Yes, JT. Shannon kids are talking. And Janiyah has spoke about things. Okay. Sanja said brings doubt. Okay, Robert says, what time did Jarvis borrow his baby mama car? She said around 9 o'clock, Robert. Naziah glasses were in the baby's mama's car. Exactly. Jay says, right, a couple refused to talk. Yeah, but they're going to have to because they're going to subpoena them. They're going to have to. Right. Many others. Yeah, there's others. There's about 3 or 4 of them that won't even answer their phone. But you know, like, I wish I was in Detroit. Yeah, I wish I was. Because, you know, you can go up and wait till they get off work and film them and ask them questions, you know. And you can film whatever you want. And then they can't say anything. You know what I'm saying? But nothing more was said or done because Ken Worthy said, we got our man. Yeah, it's good to get him off the streets. But, you know, I appreciate you too. Virtuous says, why did the police leave those items? Virtuous, they said that they was not looking for red and black and white shoes. And that's why. You're going to have to go at the beginning of this video and look at the video I shared, what they said. That's why sometimes I take clips. Well, the guy says, no, I understand, SP. I'm saying as an outsider looking in. That's my opinion. What you saying, woke the God? What you saying? Yeah, Roxy was looking like she cared. Yeah, she was. She was. But you know what? You know, and this is what people get mad at me because they're thinking I'm saying something horrible about the Roxy. I'm not. I like I said, hey, if you made $2 and you sold some balloons, okay, if that's what you did, that's what you did. I really don't care. If you out there looking, you out there looking. If you touched the shoe, you touched the shoe. You know, but it comes to you know, you can't make the police do something that they didn't do and then sit back, you know. And then start saying, hey, we found the shoe, we found the shoe, we found the shoe. And now, yeah, you probably did find the shoe. You probably shouldn't have said all of that. But why was the shoe wrapped inside the onesie? Because y'all didn't say nothing about no onesie. Hey, this is SP.
Hey, SP, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, I had a real bad cold, but nevertheless, you know what? This man, I'm telling y'all, is Miss Mocha still in here?
She is.
I like her too. But anyway, that's not why I was. Well, that's one of the reasons why I was calling. But man, I'm telling y'all, I'm with Woke to God on this one. Man, Shannon, ooh, girl, you messing up, girlfriend. I'm telling you. Leave that man alone. Leave him alone. I don't care if he is your baby daddy. Let him sit in there and rot. He did something to your family member, and you know about it. Everybody in different states know about it. We all know about it. Girl, leave that man alone.
Tina, do you know when it comes to a woman and a man in a relationship and she got 5 kids, you can't tell that woman nothing about that man?
I know. If it was me, oh no.
She don't care. That's her baby. She is prideful to say she got 5 kids by this man.
Okay, I don't care. I don't care how many kids you got by this man.
Girl,
I don't care. He did something to your family. This is blood.
she don't care. She got 5 kids by that man. She love that man. Girl, have you ever talked to a woman that loves a man? You can't tell that woman nothing.
Girl, yeah, I have, but nevertheless.
You can talk to, you turn blue in the face. She gonna send him money. She loves him, and he she ain't got to worry about him messing with another woman and having any more kids because he in prison and he gonna stay there.
Girl, I mean, SP, I ain't mean to call you girl. Look, he done showed you what he was. He done showed you what the whore he was. He done slept with this woman. He done slept with that woman. He done slept with this woman and got a kid by her. I mean, come on now. He done showed you.
Yeah.
So what is that to love?
Exactly. I know. SP, do you believe that Naziah made it back from Ypsilanti alive? Nope.
I don't think so.
I appreciate you too, Mocha.
But that's what I wanted to call you. But man, I'm so furious with this case. Oh, I'm so furious.
Yeah, she give it to him too. She do. Mocha be giving it to him over there. She be like, and she be
Yes, she do.
she be giving it to him over there. She be, I'm not a cussy person, but when I get mad or something, I do what I do, but I definitely don't come on here, but she be telling them to shut the F up and
I want to cuss right now, but I know I can't. But you know what? Girl.
I said to myself, but she like somebody said in the comment section, they said, the voice, like they doing too much. They doing too much over there in that family, and they're acting like it's okay. Yeah, they're acting like it's okay. So, there's got to be somebody that will just, speak out for Naziah.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, why on God's earth? What did this baby do to you that is so, well, I know, but what did she do?
What did who do? Naziah?
Yeah.
She
She
didn't
didn't do nothing.
No.
Not to deserve this. Come on now.
They never, they never did care about this child. They just didn't.
I know that. No celebration of birthday, nothing. I didn't see nothing.
Right. Well, you know what? A child doesn't have to do anything. Mm, yeah, it's crazy. It's just adults are gonna do what they do.
But you know, SP, every time when I look at Messiah, I think about my daughter. Because at once upon a time, my daughter was 13.
Mm. Robert says Jarvis used those shoes as a decoy to throw everyone off. I think so.
I think so.
Mocha says she don't care, but what happens to Naziah, Janiyah, and other family children is not Jarvis' fault. This is all Annette and Shannon's fault. They fed her to him. Yeah, they did. They did. Shannon is the same character that Monique portrayed in the movie Precious. You want my man, don't you? Yeah.
Mm. Well, SP, you know, for real, it's going to be coming out in October. No, he got to go to court in October, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everything's going to be coming out in the wash in October. But I know for a fact that they got something up their sleeve and on their vest that they're not sharing.
Yeah. They say they got tons of evidence. And you got to remember something. I don't get, sad, and I'm very hopeful. I know for a fact that Jarvis will be found guilty, but on the murder is very hard because of the simple fact, like I said, you guys, and I mean, he's not going to tell because he knows he's got a really good chance because there's no body. They have not found nobody. And then, um the family got a lot of secrets, and so they're not really telling a lot. you know
Mm-mm. Well, SP, I thank you for taking my phone call, and I do appreciate all that you do. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I give my hats off to you.
Well,
I be like Mocha. I be like Mocha, cussing and the fussing.
yeah, yeah, because that they all lying. I mean, I like when I'm talking to real people that are, I don't care where they live at, but they see that all of them is lying. Like the way that they move is not the way you move when a child is missing. You don't wait a day later when a 13-year-old girl do not come home and she's never done this before. You don't wait till the next day. And then let me tell you something about that next day, which makes me mad. Because everybody acts like, oh, she waited till the next day and she took her kids to school. Okay, here's the thing. Because when you have a child that's missing, if you've ever had a child missing before, you know that feeling. Now, everybody going to say SP, everybody, they grieve different. Everybody, they move different. I get that. I understand that. But you know what? Human beings, we move the same way when it comes to the ones that love our children. What we do is we wake up with an agenda on our mind that this child is missing. And if we got other kids that we got to take care of, because sometimes you can't even think right when your child did not come home. You don't sit back and wait till you're going to make that phone call at least and tell the police and be told that you got to wait. Because 9 times out of 10, you don't know if they got a child that's been picked up for curfew or they can be watching or looking for the child. It don't have to be on a poster or anything, but they could be looking for the child. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could be at the hospital. She didn't check no hospital. She talking about she called her friends. And then I finally seen, because I didn't have Facebook for a while. So, now I started trying to play with the Facebook a lot more. I can jump on. My husband gets mad at me about it, but I jump on and jump off or whatever. But Shannon was texting somebody at the same time talking about she just wanted we hear she running around with an older man. She already know it was Jarvis. And then she gonna turn around saying she wanted some DICK. So the girl asked her, isn't she a virgin? And then Shannon gonna say she better be a virgin. Girl. Let me tell you guys something. No, let me tell you something that I seen on a news clip, and you can just figure it out. Janiyah, because the other kids been taken away from Shannon, right? And I hate to say that, but it's true. But all the kids have been taken away. Okay? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. Because all these people talking about the family, and okay, why none of them got any of these kids? You weird. What? Okay, because there's still other kids. You know what I'm saying? So if you love these kids so much, and you talking about all of them, you can't say you love this one, and yes, she is missing, but here's 5 more kids, and you probably can't take them all, but take one of them. Why they ain't got none of them kids?
Right. Wow.
Hey, say less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you talking about you there? I mean, it's just crazy. It is. It really is.
I have seen a crazy case. Now, we've been on cases, okay? I have seen crazy cases. But I hate to say it, this one and Cody Bigsby takes the cake.
Huh. It does. It does.
Yeah.
But check this out.
And,
I was gonna tell you, so when Neziah came up missing on January the 9th, that was Tuesday, right? And she didn't come home. Just put this in your mind. She's supposed to got off the bus around about 2:54. And 3:05, she'd be walking in the door. 2:54, 3:05. Give her 10 minutes to walk home from 3 Mile in Cornwall, right? She'll make it home. Okay. She didn't get home. Annette's not there. Annette's saying she's not there, but Shannon's supposed to be there. Okay. So Annette's saying that she went and did all of this. She had to run these errands and stuff. But so she comes home, and Shannon and Annette is like, hey, Tuda, whatever. I'm going to say Neziah. Neziah did not make it home. So, yeah, you're going to wait a little bit. You might wait to about 5, 6 o'clock. Okay?
right.
She still didn't come home. Because I get that. I understand that. She still didn't come home because maybe she stayed after school. So Annette allegedly supposed to have got in her car and went back up to the school, and she said everybody was gone. Everybody's gone. And the child still didn't come home. So you know what you do after that? You go home.
That's right.
And you go home, you go to the friend's house, you call them, because you should have some numbers. You may not have all the numbers, know where all the girlfriends live, but you have some kind of idea. But Annette went home. She said she looked. She didn't say they looked. They got up the next morning. Annette had to go pick up Lady. Why would you go pick up Lady when you don't even let Lady in your house?
Wow.
You don't even let Lady nothing. So you must have thought, or you try to make it seem like, oh, Lady took her child. Could have. I'm just saying allegedly she could have. But nevertheless, because I know when people adopt family members, they will come and do some stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not putting it out there that she's not a suspect, because Lady would be a suspect. But you got Lady with you. But you take your kids to school, the other kids, because she said, I take my kids to school. School starts at 7:30, she says. Tell me, why did the school police officer say he did not get the call until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock? Okay? 12 o'clock, he did not get the call to come down there to the school because they got a missing child. So you drop the kids off at 7:30. Annette, what are you doing from 7:30? Because school starts at 7:30. What are you doing 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 3.5 hours? What are you doing? What are you doing? You got a lot of time to get some stuff together and write or whatever. What are you doing?
I was getting ready to say planting clothes every which way but loose.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Wow.
At that time, that finally that the school detective or police, Leon, is searching the school for her, and Jarvis' phone is pinging at 7 Mile and Berg. At that same time.
Ain't that some stuff?
See, I kind of wondered something real quick. And Tina, just hang on there with me for a minute, because I keep trying to figure out, and I don't know if anybody wants to come up on the platform. You guys are welcome. Just let me know you want to, and you're fine. But I'm trying to figure out, because Tawana said that we know Jarvis turned himself in on the 7th of February. And then on the 13th of February, King got picked up, because remember, Jarvis and King had a conversation. They pulled the phone call and heard Jarvis asking King to retrieve his phone. King had enough time to call the girl what's her name? Tanisha, whatever her name is, with the Yukon Tahoe car vehicle, and searched the vehicle. And then she went to the hospital, and then the police came, listened to the phone call, and picked King up on the 13th. I do, SP. What's that? You do what? You want to come? You want me to share? Oh, let me see here. Real quick. And anybody that wants to come up can. Anybody, hold on, Miss Tina. I wanna, I'm trying to make this. I'll pin it up there for a minute. But anywho's, they picked Jarvis up. I mean, they picked King up on the 13th, right? They picked King up, and King's down there talking to him. And they go get the car, and they find the phone. The lady that's in the hospital, and I'm looking for that because Woke the Guy and I was talking, and she said that she did not go back to the shop.
Oh, wow.
So everybody's lying.
Yeah.
Because King said that he looked for the phone in her car. And he couldn't find it. And the lady said it was right where he said it was, right the back seat, right behind, just straight down. And then, like, I just can't, you guys. Then King lied and said he had her bring it up there and there was no phone. The fiance said she never went. Exactly. See. Okay, what's up? Woke the God.
Hey, SP.
Hey. What's on your mind?
So my biggest concern is that it's too obvious, as in my opinion, as a person on the outside looking in, that the family has no urgency.
They don't.
There's no urgency.
Yeah, when she dropped the kids off at 7:30, because they eat breakfast, they love to eat breakfast at school, she said. What did she do from 7:30 all the way into going to the school and saying, hey, my kid is missing? Because you was already at the school. You left the school.
Right, so why would you leave?
Yeah.
And the sucky part is, hey, Woke the God, they didn't even check her locker.
No, they didn't.
I feel like if I didn't... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Waiting on you.
SP, why am I hearing you? I'm confused because I'm hearing you, but I'm hearing me. I don't know. Okay, so anyway.
Because you got to probably turn down your volume on your device.
If I turn, then I can't. Okay, we'll try that. So this is my thing. I feel as if their stories do not coincide. From last night, when Annette said that she the driveway, and Shannon said she was in the house. I think Shannon said she was in the house in the driveway, and Annette said she was in the house. So how are you in the driveway and you asking about if Naziah's home or not? Why would you ask her from the driveway? It's almost like you weren't expecting her to be home.
Right.
Well, what Shannon said on the stand was, Shannon said that when she pulled up, the kids came to the door and they wouldn't let, and then they said Grandma was asking is Naziah home?
But why? Why would you ask that? If she comes home every day and she's never done this before, why would you set out in the car and ask if she's home? If she's home every other day, why would this day be different?
You know what? Excuse
I
me.
mean, am I overthinking that, or
No,
does it seem weird to you?
it does
Was
seem
it this particular day that she ends up missing?
Right, and that's the day that you asking where she at.
Right.
Did she make it home? She made it home every other day. Did you every day sit out in the driveway and ask did she make it home? I don't think so. I feel like
so what
whatever occurred. I'm sorry. Go ahead, SP.
so what you're saying is, so Naziah didn't make it home at 3:05 and Annette wasn't there.
Right,
So you're saying, so when Annette arrived, Annette was like, is Naziah at home?
right, and you did that without even getting out the car. Why wouldn't she be home if she's home every other day?
Right.
So my feeling on this is whatever occurred with Naziah, be it an accident that he gave her something and it went bad, whatever happened, I feel as if they knew it already. They were aware. But now I have to still play the role because they're going to question these kids. You know what I'm saying? They're
Right.
gonna question them what happened the day that Naziah didn't come home. Like, did she say anything? No. If well, when Grandma found out she was missing, how did Grandma find out she was missing? How did she act? What did she say? I feel as if they were just doing a role play to go through the motions so that everybody that wasn't in the know could say that they did, quote unquote, the right things. If you're understanding what I'm saying, I don't know if I'm making sense.
Mocha says the day Naziah came up missing, she was the only child they sent to school that day. What?
That's the first time I heard that.
That is the first time I heard that. Mocha,
I'm
where
not
you?
saying it's not true. I just why she don't come up? That's definitely the first time I've heard that.
That's the first.
Come on up.
Hold
Share your
on,
thoughts.
Mocha. First time she was the only child they sent to school that day.
Look, I believe that they've done enough
Because remember,
for me.
Annette said something about the other kids, though. I don't know. That would be. You know what? They and I don't know. Did they even? They said that they looked in Shannon's house. She said they lied about getting the other kids from aftercare. Their none was reported present that day. Mm.
I feel that they did just enough, to look for Neziah. Maybe I'm reading into it, woke to God, but maybe, I don't know, I'm just sitting here having a brainstorm, but maybe they did just enough. Say, oh, yeah, she missing. But why would you want to report it the next day?
Well,
You doing some Corey Bigsby crap.
so the other kids didn't go to school that day. So the only person that went to school that day was Neziah.
So if that was true, or if that is true, that makes me suspicious even more.
Well, I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to try to look and see where I can find that at. That changes a lot of stuff. The other kids didn't go to school. Just Neziah went to school.
Wow.
Why is that?
Right.
Well, I know one thing, if you look at that police interview, they say that the child said that she saw Jarvis, S.A. Neziah. So the only child that Neziah had been with is Janiah. So Janiah is probably the one that's seen him, S.A. and Neziah. But then they have another, and so that would have been Janiah is Shannon's child. And so there's an older child that is now 20. That says that he did SA her, and it started when she was, I'm trying not to get this wrong. It started when she was 12, and she's now 20.
Oh my God.
And he did it from the back door.
Oh God.
So when I was listening to Tawana's testimony, Tawana says she had got a phone call, because I was like, well, why would Tawana insert herself into this situation? Because Jarvis is already, she's seeing that this kid is missing, but she don't think nothing of it. And then Jarvis turns himself in on February the 4th. And then they pick up King on the 13th. They do pull Jarvis on the 15th. Now, not Shannon Jones didn't pull Jarvis, but the police pulled Jarvis and asked Jarvis some questions. But Jarvis spoke to King between the 7th and the 15th. I mean, the 13th. The 7th and the 13th. And said, hey, look, there's a phone. Can you get it? Tawana said that between something happened on Valentine's Day. And then she says that she had got a call from one of Jarvis' baby's mamas. Now, on the stand, the defense tried to say Tawana don't know Jarvis's kids. She doesn't have a relationship with Jarvis's kids. Now, Jarvis got a lot of kids, but Tawana would probably have a relationship with the elder kids more than the younger kids. And she's definitely not talking about Shannon's kids because she called Shannon and was like, can I get the detective's number? And Shannon called Sharon Jones and asked for the detective number and said, can I give it to her? And the detective said, yeah. So then she had to call Shannon Jones and say, hey, so who did Tawana speak to? She wasn't speaking to Shannon. She wasn't speaking to the one that got the 2-year-old. She said his baby's mama. So 2 girls showed up at court. One got to be Janiyah and one's got to be his oldest daughter. So the oldest daughter's mother is the one that had to call Tawana because it wasn't Shannon, the 20-year-old. Has to be the oldest daughter. Yeah. Has to be the oldest daughter that he done essayed. And not just people, I don't want to go off into the details, but it's more like he did it from the back end.
Jesus Christ.
And they testified. They did not let us hear it, but they testified that he did these things. So it really, he's going down no matter what for the essay. But Yolanda says that 20-year-old was by the crazy lady that molested Jarvis. No. Yolanda. No. We're not talking about the lady that molested Jarvis. We're talking about his child. They didn't say nothing about the molestation of this woman. We're talking about one of Jarvis' children, which is 20, testified that he did some stuff to her. We're not talking about this woman that molested Jarvis. We're talking about children. And she had to say that Frank shop that he worked at prior to this shop that's on Connor and Harper or whatever, 9,000 Connor. They're not even talking about that shop. They talking about the shop on Neff and Warren is where he did this other child, the first child.
God have mercy.
Jay says she's 20 now, but he went to prison for touching her as a child. And a 4-year-old he gave chlamydia to. He served almost 10 years, got out, and then met Shannon. Y'all, okay, hold on, you guys. Let me share with you something, because you guys is all, maybe you're mixed up, or maybe if I'm reading it, I'm mixed up. But you guys are talking about two different things. We're not talking about his past history where he went to prison for. We're not talking about anything that he went to prison for. We're talking about now. Okay? That's the difference. I was Jay, no big deal. You know, because I was mixed up too. I thought that when they were talking about the two kids came to court that they did not let us hear, I thought it was the previous charges that he went to prison for. No. This is two totally different females. I could probably find it, because I was just looking at it earlier today. Let me try to go off in my history. I was looking at it earlier today, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I know it when I see it, but I may not can find it. I don't know. I'm not worried about it, but oh, there it is, right there. Let me, y'all hold on. Y'all go ahead and talk. Let me pull this so you guys can hear what I'm trying to. Let me go find it.
All right.
Zen, go ahead and talk to him, Zen, and let me find this real quick.
Zan, oh God.
I don't know if she can hear you or not.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's okay. I want to find this. I should have already had it, but
Do you want me to jump down, SP? I'll jump down if you need to find it.
well, you can jump down if you want to jump down, but I mean it's I think I got it. I got it that quick. Let me put the tab in there. Yeah, I put the tab in there, and then I got that right there. Now let me come back in. All right, so let's see if we can pull it up. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let's see, phone shared, right?
Forensics and cell tower mapping delivered a compelling timeline of where they tracked Butts' phone the day Neziah disappeared, as well as the following 36 hours. A little after 4 p.m. on January 9th, 2024, Butts' phone was tracked to his shop on Connor Street, according to the experts' analysis. Between that time and a little before 7:30 p.m., the data shows his phone's location heading towards Ypsilanti, consistent with what one witness said yesterday when she claimed seeing Neziah with Butts the day she went missing. Further analysis shows more activity from his cell phone near his shop. Once again, this time it's traced around 8:22 and 9 p.m. on January 9th. The witness then testified to Butts' phone activity stemming from the area near the Park Crest Inn. That's what two witnesses described yesterday as a place Butts would take other women to have sex. The report shows that these calls occurred after 10:35 p.m. on the day Neziah disappeared. Another exhibit shows Butts' phone activity more than 24 hours later. This time they tracked activity between 11:40 p.m. on January 10th to 1:30 a.m. on the 11th near the area of 7 Mile and Berg Road. This is the same location crews searched for Neziah's body 1 year ago. They never found her, but they did find a jacket, pink onesie, and black Nike shoes that match what witness described her wearing when she went missing.
We were responding to a missing person.
What was your role in searching the 7 Mile and Berg area?
I was searching the riverbank of the River Rouge. We were searching south along the bank. I was on the east side of the bank in the 7 Mile Berg area.
We then heard shocking testimony from one of Neziah's cousins, who is younger than 10 years old. A warning, this information could be disturbing to some viewers. She alleges being in the room with another cousin while Butts took advantage and had sex with Neziah. Disturbingly, this wasn't the only time she alleges witnessing Butts coercing sex on her cousins. She even says he tried to make advances towards her at one point, but she was able to say no after recognizing what he was trying to do. Unfortunately, that's because she's seen him act this way towards her cousins before, who are also Butts' nieces. One of Neziah's biggest advocates and adult cousins described seeing Butts in court after hearing these allegations.
I don't have nice words, necessarily for that. But obviously, I have to be strong for my family. I have to be strong for Neziah, and I'm putting my trust in the justice system.
And it doesn't get much more difficult to hear witness testimony than what we heard from that young girl this afternoon. We'll be here for another day of witness testimony starting tomorrow, and we'll be bringing you updates starting at 10 a.m. throughout the day. For one point, but she was able to say no after the room with another cousin while Butts heard than 10 years old. A warning, this information could be disturbing to some viewers. She alleges being in the room with another cousin while Butts took advantage and had sex with Neziah. Disturbingly, this wasn't the only time she alleges witnessing Butts coercing sex on her cousins. She even says he tried to make advances towards her at one point, but she was able to say no after recognizing what he was trying to do. Unfortunately, that's because she's seen him act this way towards her cousins before, who are also Butts'
So, you guys heard. You guys hear? The girl was under 10 years old. Did you hear that, Tina?
I heard it.
Huh?
I heard it.
Okay, but there was two girls.
Yeah.
There was two girls that showed up to court that day. That testified. Now that girl is not Jarvis's daughter. They said that was Neziah's cousin. That's Neziah's cousin. That could have been Jarvis's daughter. But she didn't say he touched her. But another news report said, I can't find that right now, but that other news report said that he essayed her from the back door. And so if it wasn't this one, then he essayed the 20-year-old, right? Yeah, and then that has to be what? Jarvis's daughter. right?
Yeah. Right.
So Jarvis's daughters, one of these mothers, and it definitely wasn't Shannon's. It wasn't Shannon that Tawana had to been talking to. It had to been the 20-year-old mother. It had to be, you know,
Right.
that because this girl say he tried to do it, but he didn't do it. I'm just saying. And he done tried it before.
This man is sick.
What do you think, Zan? Zan,
Yes,
you okay?
yes. I'm good, SP.
All right. So she said Shannon's twin daughter. It could have been Shannon's twin daughter.
So, SP, who do you think is putting out those pictures that most of the public hasn't seen before on Instagram?
The family.
I'm saying anyone in particular?
Shannon, Shannon and her twin, they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot. Kind of like Tyrese. They're doing too much. You know, Shannon had posted on Facebook. No, Marquita. It was Marquita. Marquita had posted on Facebook way back in November. I think it was like November the 28th. You guys gonna have to go and check her out. Like I said, I'm not really that familiar with Facebook, so me trying to get in there and look at some stuff is just yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. But she had posted and said that she put an update that somebody had seen this child over there at the liquor store
Mm.
on
Did she
Warren.
mention what liquor? On Warren. Okay. Okay.
That they had spotted Naziah at the liquor store on Warren. She posted that like it was like January the 28th. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
They are doing too much.
See, Shalana said the little girl that said no and take her home was Shannon's twin daughter. Y'all gonna be surprised that all these girls got a story to tell. It's gonna be Shannon's daughter. It's gonna be Marquita's daughter. All these girls, all these little girls that's in that house. Because that's why they took the kids. They didn't take the kids because they got food. They ain't got food or they ain't got a roof or running water. They took them kids because them kids are saying all this stuff was happening. And then they probably asked the kids. And this is just allegedly, this is just my thought about it. They asked the kids, well, like I said, normally the state don't come in and take your kids unless something like that's going on. You got running water, you got food, you got a roof over your head. They don't come and you ain't got no marks on your body. They don't come take your kids. They take your kids because your kids, and then there is some evidence of the kids saying, yeah, I told my mama he tried to put his wee here or wee there. And Then they ask, well, what did your mama do? She whooped us. She told us to shut up. And you know, and I've seen the pictures of these kids. Shannon's kids are very beautiful. All of her kids are beautiful. You guys, and it's horrible. I think she got 2 boys and 3 girls, or 3 girls and 2 boys. I think that's what it is. But all her kids are beautiful. You know? And
it just seems weird to me.
She wanted all her kids to be from Jarvis.
Ew.
Girl, her kids are beautiful.
I mean, I'm not saying ew because of the kids are beautiful. What you last said, she wanted her kids by Jarvis. That's why I'm saying ew.
Yolanda says Marquita gave her kids to their dad so CPS wouldn't get them. Let's see. Somebody in the chat said something. I wanted to go back in. They said they have been, what? They have subliminally posting things from day one. Yeah. They be in these chats. You guys, they be in these chats.
It won't be a surprise.
She said she's so proud. Yeah, she is. She's very proud to have 5 kids by one man and who never provided housing for him. Nah, he ain't provided nothing for him.
Nothing, exactly. Nothing. Do they all even have his last name?
Yep.
Do they?
Yep. Yeah, they do. Whether they're questionable or not, he signed the birth certificate.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yep. Yep.
There ain't enough love in the world for me to love a sex offender.
Well, she didn't believe he was a sex offender. She believed that he was in a relationship with somebody that lied to him. That's what he told her. A girl that he was supposed to be allegedly dating that was 16 but said she was 18. You know. So, I mean, you know, you can always look at this a good way and you can always look at it a bad way. You really can, because I mean, if you dated somebody and they look older or whatever, and they tell you that they're 18, you're going to think, well, why are you lying? You know, you're not going to believe you're lying. Shalana says, I pray for these kids. Yeah, I do too. But they're definitely, you know, not in a good atmosphere right now. I don't care where they're at. They're with the state. They're not in. They're safe from these monsters, but sometimes you can take things out the frying pan and right into the fire, because state, when they put them kids places, you guys already know.
The kids have got paid the ultimate sacrifice.
You got some place. You got some housing that people will not adopt kids, but foster kids, and they are good places, safe places. But they definitely not still at home where they know some stuff was going on.
Right.
But she'll probably get her kids back. And these kids, they don't know. They don't, just like when you seen Nazia's brother. He came on some channel or whatever, and he wanted people to stop bashing his grandmother. You feel for that because that's his grandma.
Stop bashing his grandma.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. But I'll leave that alone because ain't his name Amari?
No.
No. Oh, wow.
It's like Chavarius.
Okay, well.
So they call him Vari.
Okay, Vari. I'll leave that alone because he's a child. Okay? But when he gets older, he's going to know.
He already know. Tina, let me explain something to you about children. They already know, but that's still their parents. That's still their grandma. Do you not know when people get abused in that kind of way, they still protect the people that abused them because that's all they know. That is, everybody wants to be loved. That's why when you go to school and you learn the things for survival is water, shelter, and food, the other one thing that you got to have to survive is that social connection, that love, that touch. Remember we talked about how they did those experiments back in the day that they done demolished them now, that they can't never do them again, where they took a set of kids and they didn't do no touch, no feeling, no comfort, no holding them, no rocking them, no nothing. And the other kids, they touched them and loved on them and cooed on them.
Yeah, I remember that experiment that we did.
And they watched them kids grow up, and those kids that had no kind of social reaction, no affection, those kids was destructive and going to prison and dying early and just sickly and not smart. And the other kids, they just flourished. They did well in school. They had nice relationships. They bear other children and stuff. It's just a part of how nature does what it do.
Well, I wasn't saying it like that, but you know how like when a parent talks about another parent in front of the kid,
Yeah.
and they bash them, I leave my comments to myself.
All right.
Because that young man is already going through enough with his sister.
What young man?
Her brother.
Jo-
Nazaya's brother.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I'll leave my comments to myself. But
Well, he's just young, and he loved his grandmother. He loved his family. Everybody loves their family. Because if you didn't have your family, you're gonna be set back. Like, you think everybody wants the family, even though that the family's messed up. They still want family. And so we can't judge. We just can't judge because he's a kid, and he said he didn't know none of this. There's no way you can live in this house and not know none of this. You know, everybody touching everybody. And then there was some of Shannon and Marquita's family members was on Mark D's channel, and they were saying how they were touched by the females. And that's why they are now, you know, trans and gay, and they like it, you know, and because they did these things to them when they were younger. You know?
Right.
But I'm going to tell you guys something, and I'm going to just be honest with you. I think Naziah was smart enough to know she could get them in a lot of trouble, and I think they set all of this up. You know, I think they threw her to Jarvis and knew he was going to take the bait, and I'm just, that's what I believe. I think they said, I'm just saying, you know, like if you know that if you put a piece of a chicken in front of a hungry dog, he gonna eat.
Yeah.
He gonna eat. You can leave it and think you can come back and get it. It's gonna be gone. And I think that they set it up, and he took the bait. And I think they wanted to get rid of Naziah because she was smart enough to say, if you don't do this or if you don't do that, I'm going to tell or I'm going to say something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I got you.
That's what I believe. You know, all this, hey, I'm pregnant, and we don't know who was writing that. She could have been writing it, or Shannon could have been writing it. That's stupid to me that this man would sit there and talk to two females. One woman got all his kids, got 4 kids by him, and sit there and talk to the niece on the same phone. She doesn't even say, hey, this is Naziah. She just starts saying, hey, baby, when you going to come see me? How would he know who he talking to?
Right.
Is you talking to Shannon? Or who are you talking to? And you sitting there making plans. Come outside. Go down in the basement. I'm going in your room. I'm going to get some panties. And what woman do you know that don't go through her whole phone? And some of the messages was not deleted. No, it doesn't know. I cannot put Jarvis in this equation by himself. I cannot. Not with everybody. Nobody doing what they're supposed to do. You're a parent. I don't care if you adopted parent. You know, my child adopted and she don't come home. I'm going to the school. I'm calling the school. I'm waiting for her to get off the bus. If she don't get off the bus, you know, I'm calling the school. Do you not know things like that happens to parents all the time? My daughter tells me I'm checking. It's not, I didn't bear this child. I didn't lay up and have this child, but I got to know what's going on in her life. She said, Mom, she calls me up. She says, Mom, can I stay at school today and help the teacher? And I say, are you sure you're going to help the teacher? She said, yes, Mom. I say, okay, because she's a good kid. She ain't never, she always come directly home. She gets off the bus, she comes directly home. I'll be, shoot, whatever. Let her not get off that bus. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? She gets off the phone with me. I'll wait until it's 3 o'clock. School is out. So now it's 3:10, 3:15. I'm calling the school. I need to speak with the teacher that my daughter's helping. What teacher is that? I don't, you tell me, because she says she's helping a teacher. So I need to talk to that teacher to make sure my daughter's there. And they like, ma'am, what's your daughter's name? Her name is such and such. Okay, we're looking for such and such. We got the teacher. No, such and such is not here. Okay. So she lied to me. So, you know, I ain't nothing I can do because she could be anywhere. Okay, the bus comes. She gets off the bus. Where have you been? You have to be on that stuff. She was like, Mama, I told you I was going to stay at school and help the teacher. I said, honey, you wasn't with no teacher. I called. I checked. You always got to check for them kids.
That's right.
Whether they're yours, you bear them or not, you got to check. And then come to find out, 2 days later, some girls are talking about her. She done went down the street after school and was with some boys, and now she's boo-hooing crying. They're calling her this and they're calling her that. And I said, see, had you stayed your butt at school instead of thinking you were smart, you know? And normally these girls, they always mad about a girl. It's too late now, Papa. No, it's 5:03. The bank closed. You said give it back. I will not.
Papa said he wants his money back.
He waited till 5:03. The bank's closed. Oh my God, whatever. Anyway, but you see how things happen. You know what I'm saying? Jojo Poppins said, Bulu, you're right. I believe Shannon was present during the essay, is why in the text message she asked Shannon, was it okay to go with him? In another text, she told Jarvis, what did they say after he told her? Baby father has an attitude every time I call him. Only time he is okay is when I call to ask to go. Does he need Naziah to help clean the shop? To come get in the car one night? Yeah, I believe Shannon knew Naziah was pregnant. Her and Jarvis decided to get rid of Naziah. Well, of course they knew. They were buying clothes. I don't think Naziah got a lot of new clothes, you guys. I just don't think, Now Shannon kids had a lot of new clothes. I seen that. But they didn't spend a lot of money on Naziah.
I heard that was passed down.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. But Shannon kids are, and you wouldn't even thought. She got a lot of pictures. Shannon got a lot of pictures of her kids, right? And so you never know when Shannon was trying to do, like she basically was, as far as the clothes go, about was cool. Shannon said something on Facebook, and like I said, I only looked at it for a little bit. I don't really be over there that long. But she said somebody made a remark about the chains and locks being on refrigerators. Shannon said, you guys don't know the laws. As long as the kids have access to food or whatever, you know, it's not against the law to put a lock pad and a lock on your refrigerator or whatever. It's crazy to me.
But why would you put a lock on that refrigerator if the kids can have access of the food?
Well, they got, you know, they're saying it's not against the law to put a lock on a refrigerator. But you got to remember, CPS went to the house. They didn't see nothing wrong with it. They didn't see nothing wrong with it. You can't make half of this stuff up. These people, I'm just saying the evidence that they have is just makes no sense. I'm glad that Mocha did come in the chat today, and she you know, we're going to have to go and I hope somebody sent it to me if they find where the other kids did not go to school that day. Because Shannon said she was at home and Annette said she went out and ran errands. You know?
Right.
And it's just a lot of stuff. And I don't really share about some things because I may know some other things. So I don't share everything that I know. But in time, we will.
Yeah.
She says not one year, what one tear was shed from Shannon. You guys, I don't know. I mean, you know, the sad thing about the whole situation, Tina, is this. And, you know, and it makes me sad, but, you know, I still do have hope because there was nothing found at 7 Mile and Bird that the little girl was wearing the last time we seen her.
Right.
That she was on camera. The coat, we don't see that. We don't see the white shirt she had on. We don't see the pants she had on. We don't see the shoes, her underwear, her socks. We don't have, all we have is the things that we didn't see. The shoes, earbuds, you know, the hoodie, you know. So
I'm wondering, I mean, I can't help to go to October because that's the big, you know, that's the big one, you know. Man, I can't wait until October.
JoJo Poppins says, Annette was on TV. She was so fake. They all was. You could see it in their face. They wasn't hurt at all. But I'm going to tell you guys something. Yeah, she was fake. She didn't, you know, I just didn't see it. She said, I believe they put them clothes there and the DNA and everything came from Annette's freezer. Who knows? But she was at school that day. Had not she be at school, they'd be in a bad situation right now. You know? But I just can't see them killing her. You know what I'm saying? And then you can't say they text from the school. So Naziah literally had to text from the school because a lot of this stuff is just not adding up. It's not going to add up. They went all the way to Ypsilanti. Okay, they went to Ypsilanti. And then what? She sat in a chair next to a TV that was on a red cabinet. But she didn't say nothing. Then they get in the vehicle, which we don't know if it was a 300 or if it was a truck. Because the girl that say, she didn't ask for nothing. They were there, this and that. Didn't say nothing about going to the ATM. But King said they went to, Talacia went to the ATM to get some money. But then the next day, she talking about they done called because they wanted Jarvis's cash out for $70. Did they take her to Islay so they think that they can do this ritual to get rid of a baby? And she digested some red antifreeze. And that stuff works so like in 30 minutes. Pulled over because she was so sick that they got her out the car. She didn't pass away in a car. And so how did the glasses get into the blue car? Well, her backpack could have been still left in Jarvis's truck. Somebody gave that baby something.
Exactly.
But they said she came to school on the 10th. I was like, nah, that can't be. But that teacher said that she saw her on the 10th and she was marked there. He had her backpack. That's where the school ID and glasses were. My thoughts. Exactly. ATM got cameras too. All these places has cameras. Why they didn't got them? Exactly. Every time you take out money out of an ATM, King.
Your face on that camera.
Yeah. So, and I think that they don't want to show that the family is lying because they got who they want, Jarvis. But somebody had to give that baby something, and it went south. But Jarvis' phone did ping at 7 Mile and Berg. See? You think she's hiding in Ypsilanti? I'm telling you guys, it's a lot. It's a lot that we're there's something we're missing. We're missing something. There's got to be somebody else in the equation. Robert, there's got to be somebody else in the equation. Well, I'm going to get off of here, Tina.
All right, baby doll. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. All right, I love you.
I love you too.
All right.
It's got to be something we're missing. Jarvis was on 7 Mile and Berg for 2 hours. Yolanda, why you say for 2 hours? I didn't get 2 hours. I got 10 minutes. Let me see. Somebody said something about Corey on here. Corey Bigsby, attorney, seeks trial or dismissal on 30 abuse charges. Okay. I have to look at that. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get off of here. There are a lot of woods and abandoned houses at 7 Mile. They didn't say that. They said that his phone pinged there for not a long time. They said, actually, they said his phone pinged there for like 10 minutes at 7 Mile and Bird. I think the guy Frank has a lot to do with this. Oh, Sunshine said that. Okay. They took her out of that car in Easley, drove back to Detroit. Then he checked into the hotel. I bet he had another phone, probably phone that King said she was on playing games. It showed he was there for about 2 hours. Jay said it shows he was there for about 2 hours. Let me look, because I keep pictures like that of the thing, and I did not see that. But let me see. Let me go back real quick, and then we're gonna get off of here. 7 Mile and Bird, because I kept those pictures. Okay, let me see here. On January the 10th, no, it says, see you guys, it says January the 10th at he was there from 11:40 to 11:59. That's 20 minutes. It's actually 19 minutes. He was there 19 minutes. His phone pinged January the 10th, 2024 at 11:40 to 11:59. Where'd y'all get 2 hours at? I got the picture. Let me see if I can bring it up. If you could, let me see image. Let me see if I can bring it up. I don't know if I switched it over. Oh, I can't. Until 1 something in the morning, he went 2 days. Oh, what happened to the phone Isaiah was playing games or while she was in the truck? His phone was wherever the clothes were found for 2 hours. Why y'all keep talking about this 2 hours and that's not what it says? I go by the facts, you guys. There's no, his phone never pinged for 2 hours. I'm gonna send the picture. I'm gonna send the picture out so you guys can see. Because you guys, oh, it's not enough. Oh, well. Until 1 something. I'm gonna get off of here, you guys. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Because I can stay on this thing all day until there's one person in the live. But we've been on here almost 3 hours. I'm going to get off of here and I will see you guys tomorrow. We got to talk about it. This is crazy.
Bye.